So I'm here today with Mary Ford, the editor of the Hingham Journal and the Cohasset Mariner, and we're going to talk a little bit about how Mary has had success using Parsley for her online posting, for deciding which stories have a lot of traction. Mary, let's talk a little bit about how long, first of all, have you been using Parsley, and what do you like about it?
Well, I think I've been using it for about 5 months, and I find Parsley is an excellent tool. It's much easier than the Google Analytics. It takes absolutely no time. And you can also check and see things that maybe you have just posted, and you can watch in real time some of the views. I find it interesting too because I'm still learning about the connection between print and the web and what people are really looking for in terms of the web versus the print, which I think print and web can have a nice marriage. A really good example was a recent column. I have a regular columnist, the Reverend Tim Skank, who's the Episcopalian one of the minister in Hingham. And this is a very warm column. It's about how he was frustrated with putting white lights in his Main Street home, and it just got to be too big of a hassle. So he stopped doing it. So his headline was, "Let Your Light Shine or Not." So I was thinking, well, that probably isn't going to mean anything to people online. So on the online headline, I put, "No white lights in our Main Street home this year." And people that know Hingham know that it's almost a bylaw that if you put lights in your window, they have to be white, and you can't vary from that. So that ended up getting 7,000 page views very quickly. But that was a good example to me of tweaking something but they had a hook to it that would be popular and shared.
So, Mary, what are some of the stories that you're noticing get the most visitors, get the most page views consistently week to week in your two towns?
Well, the most consistent is police, what we call the police beat, which are police brief. So Cohasset's police beat is very often quirky and fun.
Like the bear story.
Like the bear. So we had a bear sighting, a bear and a mother bear and her cub sighted at Wampatuck State Park, and it was literally a paragraph and a half, but I led the police beat with that and put that in the headline, "Bear Sighting in Cohasset at Wampatuck State Park," and it had 15,000 views within just a few hours. Another good example was this past week in Cohasset. This couple was walking in the village, and a massive raccoon it became aggressive and tried to attack them. So we had massive raccoon threatens couple in Cohasset Village, and that immediately again went to thousands of people who were very interested in that.
So here's an example of, I think, Mary, you said photo galleries are another feature that do particularly well, and you have the results to show in Parsley that they do. Now, this was a submitted photo gallery from a local store.
Correct, a boutique.
A boutique, and they had a fashion show, and
it was just like a Paris runway show. So we had a ton of views on this. And a tip is to post it to Facebook once you get your gallery posted, because if you have a healthy Facebook following, it will be shared. Okay. Another tip is if you have a high school spread, we've had several. We've had, but one of the more successful was the pep rally in Cohasset High School. So once I posted the photo gallery, I emailed the link to the principal, the vice principal, and my high school columnist, and they shared it with everybody. So we ended up getting thousands of views on our different high school spreads because the kids are all looking to see if they're featured. And I really think the purpose here, which I've embraced, is that you want people to come back. So you've got to get them there in the first place. So if you get them there looking at photo galleries or a police beat item or a new column with a nifty headline, you really want them to get in the habit of checking you out more and more. So I think that's the real goal here. A key to success, and I think Parsley shows this, at least it has to me, is having a robust Facebook pages for your towns. And that doesn't necessarily translate into huge numbers as it is the engagement. We get a ton of shares and people clicking through. And a key is when you post something, whether it's a photo gallery or a police beat item or an important story, you want to make sure that your intro to Facebook isn't just the link, but that you entice the people to click through. For example, when we posted the pep rally spread, we would say, do you recognize any of your favorite Cohasset high schoolers at the pep rally? So people would then, oh, well, I'll check this out, rather than just say, here's the pep rally, or it looks like fun. So this is just a short little intro, but we had a lot of hits. Photos that capture the spirit of the village stroll. And I make sure that I pull up for a photo gallery, one of the more engaging photos.
So if you see a story that on Parsley, when you're scrolling through, that's not hot and you think should be, what's a tip that people can do to reverse that situation?
Well, you can make your headline more clickable, and remember that online that probably means everything. Here's an example of one that will probably change. Comic classes offered at the South Shore Art Center. It's good SRO in terms of people clicking for the art center, but a better headline might be learn how to be a comic at the South Shore Art Center in Cohasset. So we'll change that, and then we'll see if that story picks up. If you get an interesting press release, for example, recently in Cohasset, we had a press release from the Make-A-Wish Foundation. There was a Cohasset high school boy who has cancer, but his wish was to meet Tom Brady. Make-A-Wish sent photos, and they sent a little write-up. So I made sure the headline included the boy's name and Cohasset and Tom Brady, and I put it up immediately the moment it arrived, and it took off. And I also posted it to Facebook. So that's another example of, again, engaging people so they'll come back and they'll look at your website without having to be sort of drawn into it, because it'll become a habit. I think I'm a great believer in Parsley. I think it's fun, it's easy, and it's a great tool. So go for it.